Mystical forest rituals, robed wise men, ancient magic. This is the image that movies and legends have shaped around the Celtic Druids. Their mysterious ways have fascinated us for centuries, but who were they really? Today, we'll uncover the truth behind the myths and explore the Druids' legacy, separating fact from fiction about one of history's most enigmatic and powerful spiritual orders. The Druids were not simply religious figures. They were the intellectual, cultural, and political elite of Celtic society. They were part of the broader Celtic cultures that spread across Europe from around 500 BCE to 400 CE, including the British Isles, Gaul, modern-day France, and other regions France, and even parts of Iberia. These fascinating individuals acted as spiritual leaders, but also as judges, healers, philosophers, astronomers, and political advisors. Druids were deeply respected within their communities, and they wielded considerable power and influence. However, unlike most other ancient societies, the Druids left no written records of their own. This has led to many myths and misconceptions about them. What we know of the Druids comes primarily from external sources, especially the writings of Roman historians such as Julius Caesar, who often had his own agenda and may have exaggerated or misrepresented the Druids to justify Roman conquest. Popular culture often portrays Druids as robe-wearing sorcerers, casting powerful spells under the moonlight, performing blood rituals, and communicating with nature spirits. While these images are entertaining, they are largely the result of Hollywood and myth-making over the centuries. The real Druids, however, were much more grounded in their approach to nature and spirituality. They were deeply learned individuals who dedicated years to studying astronomy, natural sciences, philosophy, and oral history before achieving the status of a Druid. They performed sacred rituals in groves and near stone circles, but these ceremonies were more focused on honoring the natural cycles of the earth and the cosmos, rather than practicing magic. While the Roman historians mentioned human sacrifice among the Druids, this claim remains highly debated. Archaeological evidence of such practices is scarce, and many modern historians argue that the Romans may have exaggerated these reports as a form of demonization. Druidic spirituality was deeply intertwined with nature. They saw the natural world as sacred, believing in the interconnectedness of all living things. The cycles of the moon, the sun, and the stars were central to their religious observances. One of their core beliefs was the immortality of the soul, with the idea that the soul would reincarnate into new bodies. This concept closely mirrors modern ideas of reincarnation and was integral to their worldview, providing a sense of continuity and connection with the past. Druids also celebrated a number of important festivals throughout the year. The solstices and equinoxes were marked with great ceremony, with the most famous being the Festival of Samhain, which is the precursor to modern Halloween. During Samhain, the Druids believed the veil between the living and the dead was thinnest, and they held elaborate feasts and rituals to honor their ancestors. Their sacred calendar, which was intricately tied to the phases of the moon and the agricultural cycle, was vital to Celtic society, dictating when to plant crops, hunt, or hold ceremonial events. As the Roman Empire expanded across Europe, the Druids' influence began to wane. Roman conquest was not just a military victory, but also a cultural and religious one. Roman authorities saw the Druids as a threat to their empire due to their influence over the Celtic people, leading to efforts to eradicate their practices. By the 1st century CE, the Romans had destroyed many sacred Druidic sites, and their religious practices began to fade. Then, with the rise of Christianity in the 4th and 5th centuries, many of the sacred groves and stone circles were converted into Christian sites or abandoned altogether. Despite the official end of Druidism, their cultural legacy lived on. Elements of Druidic beliefs and practices can still be found in modern-day paganism, as well as in New Age spiritual movements. Druidic festivals, especially Samhain, which evolved into Halloween, continue to be celebrated around the world. In the 18th and 19th centuries, there was a resurgence of interest in the Druids, particularly during the Romantic era. Groups such as the Order of Bards, Ovates, and Druids revived certain aspects of Druidic practices in an effort to reconnect with ancient spiritual traditions. The Druids may have faded into history, but their stories and their wisdom continue to echo through time. Whether you prefer the mystic myths or the historical facts, the Druids remain an enduring symbol of nature's power and humanity's quest for spiritual knowledge. What do you think about the Druids? Do you lean towards the magical myths, or do you find the reality of their culture more fascinating? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to uncover more hidden corners of ancient history and forgotten traditions.